Hey, and good evening. So I'm getting this video out a little bit late because I'm actually in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I'm presenting tomorrow. So I'm gonna do the video. Hopefully I try to remember to record, and I'll try to upload it to my YouTube channel and post that here, and you might be interested in it. It is it's a religious focused conference, and I'm doing a humane economy is made of individuals. Scarce society is an individual. Society is an idea. Individuals are reality. That's the subtitle of my paper, and it's about I think it's 4,500 words or so, and it's based on the humane economy. So the prompt that I wrote it because I was infuriated by was the idea that we should move away from the idea of individualism and move towards a collective society. And so I thought, how can it was for an AEI/ACE collaboration conference last January, and so I wrote it November of 2020, and didn't get accepted, but it got accepted for this conference, apologetics conference, and yeah, I was like, why would any economics AEI? Why are you even talking about that? Such a horrendous idea, and I open a little bit with. So this is kind of the PowerPoint presentation. I'll just talk about the overview. So that was the prompt to create that truly humane economy. Should conservatives abandon policies that emphasize individual liberty in favor of alternative policies that emphasize solidarity? And I was just appalled by such an idea. And I said abandon 1776, which is, of course, the American Revolution, in favor of 1789, which is the French Revolution, whose motto, they had a series of mottos, but they were basically liberty, equality, fraternity, or brotherhood, unity, solidarity, and that resulted, of course, in the Reign of Terror. And so then you can go to the October 1917 revolution as well. Or 2020, hey, we're all in this together, which we're not, obviously, right? This Babylon Bee had an article where Hollywood celebrities spell out we're all in this together with their yachts, right? So they're talking about 10, 20,000 square foot mansions, and they're telling people, hey, it's no big deal, stay home. What's the big deal? It's not a problem, right? Telling people with like 500 square foot apartments or something. So it really depends on your moral view and your belief of what it is to be human. So I define the worldview of Marx versus, and his ideas have been adopted in the East, and they're coming, versus the Catholic social thinkers and these are of the 19th century, and so human flourishing as a goal. And Adam Smith, this is the important. As every individual, therefore, endeavors as much as he can, both to employ his capital in the support of domestic industry, and so to direct that industry that its produce may be of the greatest value, every individual necessarily labors to render the annual revenue of the society as great as he can. He generally, indeed, neither intends to promote the public interest nor knows how much he is promoting it. By preferring the support of domestic to that of foreign industry, he intends only his own security, and by directing that industry in such a manner that his produce may be of the greatest value, he intends only his own gain. And he, in this, as in many cases, is led by the invisible hand promoting end, which was no part of his intention, nor is it always the worse for society that it was not part of. By pursuing his own interest, he frequently promotes that of the society more effectually than when he really intends to promote it. I have never known much good done by those who affected to trade for the public good tension. They benefit society as a whole. And so this idea of, again, the invisible hand, that when you seek out self-interest, the individual seeks out the individual's own self-interest rather than trying to make society better. They actually make society better, much better than it would if they tried to just make society better, if you will, right? Mises in his So only the individual exists. So in socialism, Mises points out It's the title of his book. All rational action is economic. All economic activity is rational action. All rational action is, in the first place, individual action. Only the individual thinks, only the individual reasons, only the individual acts. And this, you can talk about mergers and corporate behavior, but it's individuals within the corporation, at the head of the corporation, and down even through the corporation, that make these decisions, right? They do the analysis, they decide whether or not it's a good idea to merge. And then I get a William Ropke on individualism. And then I come back to the American versus French Revolution. I talk about the kind of a theistic worldview. And then collectivism, Ayn Rand, his quotes here, George Orwell, Stalin. And Downfall of Liberty, The Cost of the Enlightenment. This is a paper I saw presented by Ajamian at, I forget the name of the conference he was at, but, and The Horrors of Communism. Jordan Peterson, Jay Richards, some good thoughts on that. And then I've got A Legal Scale of Justice, and I love this quote. This is by the great Alexander Solzhenitsyn in his 78 commencement address to Harvard. A society without any objective legal scale is a terrible one indeed. But a society with no other scale than the legal scale is not quite worthy of man either. The letter of the law is too cold and formal to have a beneficial influence on society. So this is, again, if you think about a society with subjective legal, you think of the king just kind of makes it up as he wants. Stalin's top secret policeman said, "Show me the man, I'll show you the crime." I believe he said that. And that's the idea of we have all these laws in the books, we can just apply them as we feel benefits us. And so that's a subjective legal scale. I mean, that's a miserable gulag existence. But if that's all you have, then people tend to think, well, the letter of the law says don't do this, but if I just do a little bit off, I'm not doing that, but you're still committing, a moral crime, right? And so it's like, again, the Babylon Bee, right? So the great Babylon Bee said Jesus never said anything about felony home invasion, right? It's like, yes, you're correct. He didn't use those exact terms, but, and so then I got natural law, some C.S. Lewis, Dr. Phil Fernandez, on Nietzsche. Moving on, and then my conclusion. All right, so, and kind of the eternal consequences of a society that rejects a higher power. So, and the individual, right? So this idea of sacrificing individual in for the greater good. So I forget the name of the movie, but Fee does a fantastic thing on, I forget the name, Fuzz? No. Is it Fuzz? No, it's a different one. So, but he talks about the collective, like this idea of for the greater good, right? So a society that has these weird murders, and this guy comes in from out of town. It's a British movie, and he's investigating, and he finds out that it's actually the people in town that are killing these people, and it's because they don't like them for whatever reason. They kill this person. Oh, it's a horrible laugh. And like, what's it do for the greater good? So, anyways, I will, if you're interested in this kind of thing, this is economic philosophy from a religious perspective. So, not directly related to the class itself, but something you might find interesting. I will post the video if I can get it recorded and uploaded tomorrow. So anyways, hope this was interesting. And we are at the end of week 6. So I will get your week 5 assignments graded. I just don't have access to really a computer this week. So, but I'll get them as soon as I can. So we took a little family trip to Florida and Clearwater, and now I am up in Charlotte. They're still there. So I'm here for this conference, and we based a family vacay around it. So hopefully you enjoyed, and I wish you a best weekend. Bye.